morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hump Day on the Morning Night Live, aka also known as Wednesday. Woke Wednesday. Although today I got to talk about something that's trending on Twitter right now that I found fascinating because we just talked about this the other day. And it's related to the COOF. Well, not obviously. I'm telling you right now it's related to the COOF. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And we got all kinds of stuff going on. So anyway, that's my intro to the intro. Let's just play the real intro now. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. All right, let's stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet, and welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, the 23rd of June, 2021. This is the 618th episode of the Morning Night Live, and I got my cup of reparations in hand in the world-famous Resist Fascism Cup. Get one at the pdognight.live on the merch tab, which will be up in that corner when you on the website. It'll be up in that way. I can't really tell which one I'm supposed to point here, the right or left. Anyway, good morning. I hope you're having a great morning so far. I know I am. Let's say hi to the folks who are already here. First in the chat today was Renee Mayette, who gets the bell. Thank you for being here bright and early sunshine. By the way, share the stream. Post this stream on your social media. I want people to get in the habit of doing that. That would help me so much if you do that. Just trying to grow the channel a little bit. Obviously, I have some responsibility. Most of the responsibility for that is me. I got to make sure I'm making a good product. And if you think I am making a good product, let people know about it. That would really help. And I'm going to start making videos. I keep saying it, but I have a video that I've got it all scripted out. I just got to do it. Got to finish that one today. And hopefully it's timely enough still, since I keep seeing news about this particular person I'm making the video about. So I'm going to go for it. But again, if you would help me, that'd be fantastic too. A lot of you do already, and I greatly appreciate you. Also in the chat already this morning is Jonathan Peterson, Mike Savage, Blarg, Lord Stanhope's in the house, Avocados Diabli, the Devil's Advocate is here, Selecta Boys in the house. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning to Fox P2, Lord Stanhope, Nobody Not Me, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to have you. Richo's in the house, my friend from down under. Also, Maddie's in the house, and I'm sure Ronan's nearby. There's the trucker horn for my trucker friends. Also, good morning, Data Wasteland, to Ride Deos. San is here. Good morning to Green Badger Outdoors. Also, the Bosch Tube. And that's, and Keenan, I'm sorry, didn't mean to miss you there. Good morning, sir. Also, Willett Forge, what's happening? And Kevin S., I missed you just because I scrolled too fast. So good morning, everybody. If I missed you, I'll catch up. Don't worry. I'd like to say hi to everybody if I can. Be sure during the show, if you like what we do, hit the like button, share the stream out, post it on your social media. Just click a couple clicks, get you there, and that helps a lot. And also, if you really, really, really want to support the show, you can always sponsor the show through Super Chats and all that stuff. And that's all in the description down below, or pdognight.live. You can do it there. You can do it here. You can do it there. You can do it anywhere. Just keep it clean. Anyway, Jesse Leon is in the house too. Also, Justin Anderson. And I think I already said Willett Forge, but I'm going to say it again just to be safe. And this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Become a sponsor of this stream with your donations and have your message read live on the show. Click that link where it is. Okay, good. And Jedi Ghost Bear, what's happening? All right, let's get started because I noticed this morning I got onto Twitter, the old the place where everyone goes to get their daily dose of cringe, and a certain drug that shall not be named is trending right now, trending big time. And it's funny because it's one of these things that can get you in trouble on YouTube. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So when you go on to Twitter, they have this policy. This is one of Twitter's policies right now. If you are posting content, don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following: treatment misinformation, content that encourages the use of home remedies, prayer, or rituals in place of medical treatment, such as consulting a doctor or going to the hospital. Content that claims there's a guaranteed cure for stupid 19. Okay. Content that recommends the use of this product named right here, which I'm not even, well, I said it a week ago, so maybe I can still, I think you can say it. I think you can say ivermectin. Or hydrochloroquine for the treatment of stupid 19, claims that those products are effective treatments for stupid 19. We talked about this a couple of days ago. Or content that discourages people from consulting a medical professional or seeking medical advice, and then prevention, misinformation, blah, blah, blah. So they have this thing about, medical misinformation. Now, it's funny though, because a lot of the people they have been banning for medical misinformation have been medical professionals and scientists and people who do this stuff for a living and have been using various methods of helping people with this disease, this ailment, this whatever, and they don't let you talk. They don't want you talking about it, right? Well, I gotta tell you, now the BBC tells us, as of today, this is probably why it's trending, ivermectin is going to be studied as a possible treatment in the UK. So there you go. University of Oxford scientists are trialing giving ivermectin to people with COVID symptoms to see if it can keep them out of the hospital. The principal study will compare those given the drug to patients receiving the usual NHS care. The drug has become controversial after being promoted for use across Latin America and South Africa, despite so far being unproven. Previous studies of ivermectin have generally been small or low quality. Interesting. Most commonly used to treat parasitic infections such as river blindness spread by flies. Ivermectin has also been shown to kill viruses in petri dishes in the lab, although at much higher doses than would usually be prescribed to people. Dr. Aurora Baluja, an anesthesiologist and critical care doctor, said ivermectin was often being given in parts of the world where there are high incidences of parasitic infections. COVID patients who are also fighting a parasitic disease at the same time would likely be fare worse and that might explain some of this seemingly positive effect. I don't know what that sentence means. COVID patients who are also fighting a parasitic disease at the time would likely to fare worse, and that might explain some of the seemingly positive effect. I don't know what that means. Anyway, there have been some early promising results from small and observational studies. Principal Joint Investigator Professor Richard Hobbs said it would be premature to recommend ivermectin for stupid 19. Now, what's interesting though, so this is the one we were talking about the other day, that they were using this in India. Remember there was this big story about the surge of stupid 19 in India, right? And people were, dying in front of hospitals and things like that. And then all of a sudden they started using this. Now, I don't even know if this is a cause and effect. All I'm saying is they started using this and they seem to have been able to reduce their cases by like 99 or 98% in some places. And lowered their hospitalization rates and things. So it's interesting that now that they're going to study it in the UK, but the problem is, particularly in the US, we know that the emergency use authorization of certain stabs require the the idea that there is no other treatment for this. And so it just makes you wonder, I know when they talked about the other thing, the HCQ hydroxychloroquine, whatever it is, we know that during the SARS outbreak in 2005, 2006, Dr. Fauci himself wrote a paper on how that could be used as a prophylactic treatment to treat SARS. And that happened to also be a coronavirus. So it's interesting that now all of a sudden it's trending all over Twitter. I mean, if you look at okay, let's see. Well, here it is. Here it is right here. So Brett Weinstein, everyone knows him of Evergreen fame, who says its value is finally coming to light, long delayed by fear of uncertainty and doubt campaign. Vaccine EUAs, or emergency use authorizations, require there not be a safe, effective treatment. YouTube and its TNI partners censored, and public health officials set an indefensible standard for evidence. And then Weinstein said, huge thanks to Joe Rogan for the emergency podcast on that particular drug with him and Pierre Coy, the censorship campaign obscuring this particular product as a prophylactic against SARS-CoV-2 and a treatment for COVID-19 kills. The censorship kills. Think about this. They've been and even in the United States, where they really basically wouldn't let you talk about that product or the other product that the guy with the funny hair used to talk about. Think about how powerful the pharmacy lobbies are, and particularly the three giant companies that have billions into this and have billions of dollars of contracts with the United States government to distribute their stabs, right? The only way that they can have the emergency use authorization that they have now is to not have any other treatment that's easily and readily available, especially one that they can't come up with themselves, because they're also coming up with their own drugs. They came up with remdesivir or whatever that stuff is. That's like $3,000 a dose. But to have a couple products that have been on the market for 70, 80 years that are at the, what do they call it when you have generic? The generic, they can be used as generic because their patents are run out. So they can be produced cheaply as a generic drug, but they're used all over the world already. The idea that you'd have a cheap solution does not bode well for the big pharmacy companies developing these stabs. So now I don't want to sound like a conspiracist, because it's not. I'm just saying, you can't, like Brett Weinstein says, EUAs, emergency use authorization. Oh, then that skipped. Maybe they took him off the top for a reason. Emergency use authorizations require that there not be any other treatments available. Remember, none of those stabs have been approved by the FDA yet. Now, I'm not anti-stab. Believe me, I'm not. I'll repeat this for YouTube and for you. I believe that people who are vulnerable, particularly the elderly, people, the obese, people with respiratory problems, probably should get the stab, because they are the ones who die from this disease. I still can't figure out why we're studying giving it to youths. And I don't mean by you-twos, but the youths, like, my cousin Vinny, the youths. Is it youths or youths? Hard TH or soft TH? Youths or youths? That's always been a curious one to me. Anyway, lots of people, but it's being talked about on Twitter. Epic Times, a print preview based on peer-reviewed studies, found that using antiparasitic drug ivermectin could lead to large reductions in stupid-19 deaths, and its use could have a significant impact on the pandemic globally because it's cheap and it's produced by every medical company out there. It's like as common as aspirin in some countries. Just like that other stuff, the hydroxy, whatever, glucagon, I mean, they use it all over the Africa and South America. Cheap, effective. Doses less than $1. I mean, way less than $1 because they're cheap. They're produced in generic quantities. Let's see. Health bureaucrats. We must release the ivermectin. This is Craig Kelly. He's an MP from. Is this the one from? Oh, this might be the guy. Is this guy? Yeah, Australian politician Craig Kelly drops ivermectin truth bombs in Parliament. He's been banned from Facebook for this misinformation. So could I get in trouble for playing this clip? Who knows if I could be censored now? Oh, YouTube, that would be wow. Why would you do something so terrible to me? I just want to be factual. God. Oh, sometimes I wonder about myself. If anyone knows where that came from, put it in the chat. And what song and where is it from? Good morning, Jen T. How you doing? Good morning. I already said Jesse Liana, you're already here. Asia Research Director, it's in the house. Tyler F., good morning, sir. Jaded Emerald, nice to see you. And I think I'm caught up. Oh, and the gayest person on YouTube is here. Nice to have you back. I bet you know what I was just singing. Maybe not. Anyway, let's listen to Craig Kelly. He's been talking about this in Australia. That's what they're saying about this in Australia.
I would like to conclude, Deputy Speaker.
Wait, why are you shitting on my country, P-Dog Knight? I'm not shitting on your country. I think this guy's a hero. Anyway, let's listen to him. Hello, Alone. How you doing? And that song is now copyrighted. By who? Anyway, okay, here we go.
I would like to conclude, Deputy Speaker. If you want to read one particular study on the effectiveness of ivermectin, one particular peer-reviewed study.
Peer-reviewed study. Now, I know they like peer-reviewed studies on YouTube. Will they allow this to go? Okay, I'm commenting on what's his name? Craig Kelly? Is that his name? Is it Craig Kelly? Yes, I am commenting on what Craig Kelly is cooking. Here we go. If you dog in chat, that's a hurtful stereotype. Well, you know. Okay. Did anybody figure that out, by the way? Anybody? No? Oh, wait a minute. Far Cry 2? No, it's not from Far Cry 2. I don't know what that is. Did we just meet the gayest guy on earth? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's finish this. Let's listen to the guy.
Ivermectin.
Peer-reviewed study of ivermectin.
I'd suggest to you in the Journal of Biomedical Research and Clinical Investigations, Deputy Speaker.
Okay, the Journal of Biomedical Research and something investigation. Okay, here we go.
Study published last year. Now, what they did in this study, Deputy Speaker, this was across 4 hospitals in Argentina.
And the thing is, plus, and one of the reasons this is also becoming, well, I don't know, it's controversial, but they've been using it in South America, in several countries in South America, right? And also in Africa. So this is the study, a peer-reviewed study in Argentina. Wait. Oh, Good Fox 61. Guess what?
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you, sir, for sponsoring the show with an almost 5, aka $4.99. Marty, never let a good crisis go to waste. But I would laugh if everyone that got the jab can't have kids. I would go around rubbing their faces and calling them lemming and sheep while laughing out loud with great enjoyment. Well, now that's a little harsh, but that is savage. Yes, it is. Thank you, sir, so much. Ooh, God, couldn't have kids. Oh, that would be terrible because my daughter Oh no, wait, did my daughter get vaccinated? I don't know if she did. I know my future son-in-law already had COVID, so he hasn't. I think she did. She did get vaccinated. That would be terrible. Anyway, yeah, I like I said, it's just one of those things. Could this have been treated very cheaply without government interference, without a giant government program to get everyone, get millions and millions of people vaccinated? I don't know. That's just a question that I'm asking. Let's listen to Craig Kelly now.
Two groups. They had 407 people, hospital workers, doctors and nurses and orderlies, which they just had them with their standard PPE equipment. And they had another group of 788, again doctors and nurses and orderlies, which they gave ivermectin to.
Okay, so you got that. 400, no of the product that we're talking about, and 700 of the product that we're talking about. Okay, here we go.
So we had an ivermectin group and a non-ivermectin group. In the non-ivermectin group of the 407, 237 of them, 58% in a 3-month period, contracted COVID. You can understand that, Deputy Speaker. Argentina is not a wealthy country, as wealthy as we are here in Australia. Their hospitals are crowded, overcrowded. COVID was right through their society. The nurses and doctors in that hospital that didn't take ivermectin in that study period, 58% of them became infected.
58%? Man, that's a lot. Okay, let's.
But of the 788, that took the ivermectin treatment, Deputy Speaker, can you guess how many contracted COVID out of 788?
Okay. Let's use this as our quiz of the day in the chat. Okay, chat. 400 who did not take the product that they're talking about, 58% of them contracted stupid 19. Put your number in the chat for how many of the 700 who took this particular product. How many of the 700, you can give me either a number or a range or a percentage, roughly. Just give me a rough percentage of how many of the 700 who took this product before in this test group. Okay, there you got this peer-reviewed study. How many of the 700 contracted stupid 19? 58% in the group that took none. And of the group that took the product, how many? So we're getting 10, 15, 10, less than 10, 2/3, easily the same amount, 2%. Okay, so we're getting some numbers, okay, here we go. Here's the answer.
Remembering, it was 58% in the other group. 700, it was 0. A ducky.
Nada.
Not one single person, not one single doctor, not one single nurse, not one single orderly contracted COVID.
Fascinating.
And yet in the other group, Deputy Speaker, they had 58%. If that...
Now, I would love to see the study first. He says he's seen the study. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to say it's true or untrue or whatever, but that's a whole lot different than 58%. Even if 2 or 3 got it, that's a whole lot different than 58%. Again, these are people, medical professionals working in the hospitals, working with COVID patients all the time. 58% of the ones who did not take it and just use PPE contracted stupid 19. Now remember, they didn't die because not people don't all die from stupid 19. Because for some reason we've made that the mantra in the United States that, we've had this many cases, well, they're all going to die. Well, no, they don't all die. A very small percentage die, but some do. And we've had almost 600,000 people die of this in this country out of 330 million people. But still, that's a lot of people. And, you just don't want to see it. But could this... again, they've been doing this study, I think, from 6 months ago. Now, imagine do you think the companies that have produced the stabs that are making billions of dollars from the stabs directly from the federal government. So the federal government just, if they can't pay you, they'll just make money, right? They don't have like a restriction like, okay, there's no more money in my account. They'll just make the printers go brrr. But can you imagine what if this is a fact? Do you think those companies want you to know that this less than $1 treatment could have saved hundreds of thousands of people when they're trying to develop vaccines? Excuse me. Oh, I said the word that I don't want to say. When they're developing these 3 stabs that they're making billions of dollars from the U.S. government, instead of some generic drug that the prescription for like 20 tablets might be $10. Emergency use authorization, baby.
Is not enough evidence. If I've not shown enough evidence here tonight that ivermectin must be adopted widely in this country, we only have to look at the results across the board in countries like India, how successful they have been at crushing their COVID curves with ivermectin, Deputy Speaker. It must be adopted widely in this country. It is an effective treatment.
All right, so that's the debate in Australia. And again, we talked about India the other day. Big tech suppression of ivermectin reiterated by evolutionary biologist Brett Weinstein. We already talked about that. Let's see. Antibiotic steroid. This is the 7th treatment to be investigated in the principal trial. It's currently being evaluated alongside influenza antiviral favipiravir. So this is in... they are doing a large clinical trial. Where is this one from? This one's in... Breaking. Let's see. Hang on a second here. So this is in. Okay, yeah, this is in the UK. So this is the UK state. So this is going to be the world's largest clinical trial on this. Supposedly, there have been some 65 to 80 different trials on this. So it's just very interesting. Suddenly you can talk about ivermectin. Well, great. I don't know if that's true on YouTube, but that's the chance I just took. And so there you go. All right, let's move on because we do have some other stupid 19 news all over the world here. Let's start with, here's the, I wanted to show you the Daily Mail headline on this too, because I find it funny how they bring this up, right? So here in the BBC, their headline is COVID, ivermectin to be studied as a possible treatment in the UK. Just pretty straightforward headline, right? Well, the Daily Mail is a little more colorful in how they write headlines. Here it is. COVID patients will be given a cheap head lice drug, ivermectin, on the NHS trial to see if it can help them recover at home. Oxford scientists to trial ivermectin to see if it can help patients recover at home. The antiparasitic drug is already being used to treat COVID in 20 countries, but experts have so far expressed doubt over its effectiveness. Well, I don't know. I guess they'll find out when they do the world's largest clinical trial. Anyway, both those articles will be in the one tabbed link in the description down below that I will update right after the show. So there you go. All right, let's move on. But before we move on, let's check out GunFox61, who has also added another almost 5 to the sponsor pile today. Marty, so far at least 600 plus people died of heart or lung related problems caused by the jab. Most under the age of 40, and the idiots are pushing kids to get the jab. I think some people need to have their medical license revoked and be charged. You know, it's funny, you know, and even though 600 sounds like not many, but this soon after they started doing this to people, I don't know. It's the arrhythmia problem with younger males under 40 seems to be a thing, and there's a new the CDC is now studying that again. So, you know, like I said, if they had wait a minute, who block you? What do you? There's one, please, COVID. Wait, I didn't block you. You're good. You're right there. I see you, Richo. I didn't block you. You're right there. I can see you. Watch this. I see you at there. I see you. No, I didn't block you. Anyway, all right. So, what was I saying here? Oh, fuck, I forgot. Anyway.
You know the thing.
Anyway, so, shake well served over ice. Oh, a Gun Fox's comment. The fact that the CDC is now studying that again, and and I think is that the Pfizer one? I think it's the Pfizer. It's not only men getting heart and lung problems that cause that. That's the Pfizer version, though, right? Of the RHNA or whatever they call it. Yeah. So imagine they have this drug that's pretty benign and can help people, and I don't know. Anyway, so in more stupid 19 news, Biden's top intel official says we may never know the true origin of the coronavirus pandemic. Oh, goodness gracious. So, Richo, you answer me. I did not block you. You are prominent in the chat right now. I hope you figured that out. Anyway, President Joe Biden's top intelligence official said Monday in an interview, the administration may conclude it does not know the true origins of the coronavirus pandemic, despite the mounting evidence supporting a lab leak. The lab leak theory. Avril Haines, the director of national intelligence, told Yahoo News that it was absolutely possible the administration may never have a high degree of confidence regarding the origins of the pandemic that has killed millions of people and devastated economies worldwide. Now, it's funny because we did make some big moves on certain things when we were moderately confident about, or highly confident about when it came to a certain person with funny hair leading the country, and they're talking about his ties to the Russos, the Ruskies. They were moderately confident. They made a lot of action on that, but these guys saying, oh, it's absolutely possible we may never have a high degree of confidence. Oh, well, see how that goes. Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Okay. Does everyone else see Rich? Am I the only one who sees Richo? I know. That's the last thing he wrote. Did he leave? I hope not. Anyway, Haines claimed her team was doing everything it could, not only to discover the origins of the pandemic, but also figure out new ways to look at the problem in hopes of finding a breakthrough. Well, congratulations. You're doing everything you can. Oh, isn't that sweet? It's true that a vast majority of pandemics and novel diseases have originated through human contact with animals, but you also look at the fact that it appears to have come from the area with which this lab was working on coronaviruses, and you have to look at that option as well. She said you can make an argument in either direction. Well, it is quite the coincidence, as John Stewart says, the name's on the top of the lab. Anyway, all right. Other experts have painted a very different picture than Haines, who is a former Obama administration official. David Asher, who led the Trump administration's investigations into the origins of the stupid 19 pandemic, said that biostatisticians from the United States government calculated that the odds of the coronavirus evolving naturally was 1 in 3 billion. 1 in 3 billion. Two European scientists recently explained in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal that the stupid 19 has no credible natural ancestor. Well, but the Biden administration may never know. We're never going to ever figure it out. Damn it. All right. Anyway. Good morning, infamous one. Nice, welcome to the show. All right, and then also in stupid news, another brazen lie. Oh, wait a minute, wait. This is an article about Dr. Fauci lying. I think maybe this would be a good time to perhaps what am I trying to say here? I can't really see what's going on, but I know that I'm trying to say something, and I just can't figure out what it is. Yes, we should probably do that though. Anyway, he claims that no control over email release while government rules state he personally reviewed each one. We're talking about the release of his emails. Joe Biden's chief medical officer, Dr. Anthony Fauci, lied. He lied. Should I just end it there? Because we already know. Anyway, Dr. Anthony Fauci lied when claiming the release and redaction of his personal emails were completely out of his control, the National Post can now reveal, while discussing emails received from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg with offers of resources and money on a recent episode of the New York Times podcast Sway. Fauci asserted that he had no control over the release of his emails through Freedom of Information Act requests, aka FOIA. No. Well, I don't know who redacted that. When people ask for my emails, I don't look through my emails and say, okay, I'll give you this one and redact this. It's completely out of my control. You lying bitch. But Mr. Fauci's insistence he is directly at odds with rules stated by the Department of Health and Human Services in response to a FOIA request from the Daily Caller News Foundation. Despite HHS efforts to delay the FOIA request, which focused on Fauci's communications with National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases personnel regarding Stupid 19's origins, a federal judge ordered the department to produce an initial batch of the requested records within 1 month. As legal watchdog Judicial Watch notes, HHS rationale for stonewalling the FOIA request rested on the department insisting that Fauci must personally review each one of his emails before they were released. In a September 21 court filing, HHS said the agency could begin producing 300 pages of responsive records to the Daily Caller News Foundation beginning on November 30th, 8 months after receiving the Daily Caller's D22. HHS also alleged that the Fauci must personally review each one of his emails before they are released. Representing yet another brazen lie by the NIAID director, the bogus claim comes amidst separate FOIA requests revealing what the hell happened there. Did this thing jump? That's weird. Anyway, another brazen lie, blah, blah, blah. The bogus claim comes amidst a separate FOIA request revealing emails from Fauci discrediting masks and ignoring concerns over the validity of the Chinese Communist Party COVID-19 data. Another organization, including other organizations, including the White Coat Waste Project, have sued the National Institute of Health for its refusal to share documents relevant to the agency's involvement with the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which they did some money laundering through another organization to fund their gain-of-function research. I'm just saying, I'm calling it money laundering. It's money laundering. And Fauci knew, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, now he's lying about something he didn't have. Oh, I had no control over the release of the emails. I did not look at them and decide what would be redacted and what would not be redacted. And I am the most brilliant scientist in the history of the planet. And if you have questions about my ability to do my job, then you are also questioning science. She blinded me with science. Da, da, da. Moving on. By the way, also scientists connected with the lab in the country of origin that shall not be named recused from UN Commission investigating Stupid 19. Well, that's a good thing because they were using scientists connected with the Wuhan lab to investigate their own investigation. So now, by the way, good morning, King on Common Law. Good morning to someone else showed up. Who was that I just saw? Oh, Jonas Pedersen. How you doing? Nice to have you here. The Lancet invited the 27 authors of the Dashik organized natural origin letter to reevaluate their competing interests. So, last week we reported that Senator Rand Paul demanded that those involved in the funding of the Wuhan Institute of Virology's coronavirus gain of function research not participate in any further investigations, which that would make sense. Let's not let the people investigate themselves, right? Well, here's the problem. The WHO investigated this the first time. We suggested 3 people to send to China. They rejected all 3, and they accepted a guy named Peter Daszak, who was the one that funded the lab. So you can't have the people like Anthony Fauci or Peter Daszak who are part of the funding mechanism to send these funds to the Wuhan lab. You can't have them investigating themselves. Well, somebody figure that out. Thank you. It appears Senator Paul will receive his wish. Wuhan-connected scientist Daszak has been recused from the UN Commission investigating Stupid-19. Daszak, 55, president of the New York-based Eco Health Alliance, also known as the Money Laundering Lab in New York, was one of 28 experts from around the world asked to analyze how best to respond to the pandemic. The panel comprised leading global figures in public health, economics, philanthropy, diplomacy, and politics. Hey, I just want the scientists. Fuck all the rest of those other people. Anyway, the panel, it is organized by the United Nations. Listen to this. Okay, wait. Listen to the name of this organization. This is a United Nations organization, and it is what's a great word salad name of a subgroup of the United Nations. It is organized by the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. According to its website, it operates under the auspices of the United Nations to mobilize scientific and technical expertise in support of the Sustainable Development Goals. Oh boy. Anyway, good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
On Monday, his profile was updated to include the note, recused from commission work on the origins of the pandemic. So great. He's no longer on the team. FTG to Peter Daszak. Even though it's not Thursday, I can say that whenever I want. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Oh, so now we're going to get into some other just general news that we can get into and that stuff and so on and so forth. But first, I was thinking a little bit about Sheldon Whitehouse, the senator from Rhode Island, and I'm in the middle of making a video about him. But we saw his little thing the other day where because apparently some reporter came and asked him about his membership in an all-white beach club in Freeport, Rhode Island, something like that. Newport, Rhode Island. He's a member of the Bailey Beach Club, which is an all-white club, and they were asking about it because they didn't have any members of color supposedly, and the reporter was asking about him because in 2007, he's been a member of the club I think since 2006, and then he was gonna get rid of his membership because it's an all-white club, and at the time, and he was gonna give up his membership, which he did. He gave up all of his shares in the club, right? Except he gave up all of his shares to his wife. So his wife now is the number 3 leading shareholder in the Bailey's Beach Club, a exclusive all-white club in Newport, Rhode Island. And so when the reporter was talking to him, he's saying, well, they're still trying to work things out there. And it's just, and then she's like, well, yeah, but you're still part of this all white club. And he's like, well, it's a tradition in Rhode Island. And I'm like, wait a minute. So all white clubs are a tradition in Rhode Island. Now remember, Rhode Island is a little tiny state with probably only has about 6% black people. It's one of the whitest. It's like Minnesota. It's one of the whitest states in the union. I mean, well, other than Idaho and maybe Utah. But anyway, so he said, yeah, it's a tradition. It's a tradition here in Rhode Island. And I'm thinking, oh, so it's a tradition to have all white clubs. And I was thinking to myself, now even in this day and age of, we're always talking about racial justice and equality and all this stuff. It's weird that he can get away with that. And I understand, that because he's a Democrat, it's easier for him to get away with that kind of stuff. But even for Democrats, that's just not a good look. And I was thinking to myself, what can I do to help poor Senator Whitehouse? Because Senator Whitehouse talks a lot about, all that racial justice stuff. He talks about that all the time. He's a Democrat. That's part of his shtick, right? And when he's at the clubs, the all-white club with probably a lot of donors go to that club too. And, but then they find out it has no people of color. And I thought to myself, what can I do? What can I do to help poor Senator Sheldon Whitehouse? I mean, white's in his name. That's not even a good look. So I got to help him out because I was feeling bad for him after you talking to that reporter and he's like, oh, this is a tradition. But I know he didn't say this, but I know in his mind he was thinking, well, I know this makes me kind of look like an ass that I haven't quit this club, even though he kind of quit it because he gave up all his shares, but he gave them to his wife, right? So I was thinking, how can I help poor Sheldon Whitehouse? And I thought, oh, I know this. I have the answer. So Senator Whitehouse, and I was going to make a video about this, but I'll just do it right here. I'm Senator Whitehouse. I have the perfect solution to your problem. I really do. See, because, being a member of all white club, even most people can't get away with that. Not even Democrats can get away with that anymore. And I thought to myself, here's what you can do. See, your wife is the third leading shareholder in the club. And what you could do is you could invite me to be a member of your club. See, I'm telling you, this is the perfect solution, right? Because first of all, I'm black, but stay with me here. But I'm not too black. I'm kind of light skinned, right? So, and plus I live 1,400 miles away, so I wouldn't be hanging out at the club that much. So, and here's the thing. If a reporter asks you, you could fly me in like once a year. Fly me in once a year, once or twice a year, and I'd come hang out at the club with you and we can take some pictures and so you can show them if the reporter asks you again, you can just take your phone. Hey, yeah, here's our black member, this guy. But here's the thing. See, you bring me to the club. I'm kind of light skinned for a black guy. So, a lot of the people who are, the more traditional members, right? The more traditional members might not even notice that I'm a black guy. That would be good. Plus, I talk like this because I grew up around white people, right? So I can blend in and I'm not one of those hood, urban African Americans. I could blend in for the day and then I'd be gone and I wouldn't be able to go there that often, right? I'd be back 1,400 miles away. So, it wouldn't be a big deal, but, just invite me out to the Christmas party. I'll come out. You can fly me out. I'll fly back and that's it. You see me like once a year. You got your black member and you can show them pictures of you with the black member and all's good, right? I think that's your perfect solution, Senator. So here's the thing. Call me. I'll help you out. Cool. I think it's a good idea, right? Yeah, it's see, they think it's a good idea. That's what I'm saying. It's a great idea. So I can help you out, Senator. All right, let me do a quick commercial when I'll come back. Oh, but first, before I go, thank you, GunFox821, with another almost 5. You're the definitely the superstar sponsor of the day so far. Marty News Drop in Discord. Also, you need to start live streaming on Trovo and other platforms. DLive is mass banning, so not recommend using DDickBag Live. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna reset up my reopen Trovo, and also apparently you can live stream on Rumble now. I guess that's another one. So I will do multi-streaming again soon. Just I got to make sure that my computer can handle it. I was having some problems before, but as soon as I can reconfigure things, I will also do it on those other platforms. So thank you, GunFox61. Hey, I'm going to throw a quick commercial, and then I'll be right back, and we'll get back into more of the news. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it, you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at pdognight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, we are back, and I see Teresa, the kids in the house, almost done with that pregnancy. I see you're talking about it there. Oh, good luck to you. I am so happy for you. We're having obviously wish you the best, and thanks for dropping in on the show. I hope you're chilling right now, because I'm sure you're tired of being kicked and twisted and everything inside and stuff. So all right, let's move on to some of the just other more random news of the day. Most of this is about some I'm just gonna say different things happening in woke shit and stuff now, and the what do you call it, the culture wars, so to speak. A mayor in Colorado apparently tried to ban the Pledge of Allegiance. And the attendees said, yeah, we're not having it. Silverton, Colorado, Mayor Shane Furman announced that the Pledge of Allegiance would be banned at trustee meetings and faced nearly immediate backlash. Quote, due to direct and indirect threats, inappropriate comments in and out of public meetings, and general divisiveness and issues created in our community, we will not be reciting the Pledge of Allegiance during Town of Silverton trustee meetings, he announced during the June 14th meeting. According to Fox News 13, in response, well, here, let me show you. Oh, they didn't show the video. They don't have the video here. Let's see, did they, here, let's do the CBS local here. Let's show it on this one. Let's see. Oh, do they not have video either? Oh, well, apparently they don't. Anyway, okay, so, here it is. Here it is. Please show it. They don't have it. I'm not happy. Anyway, so immediately after him saying that, wait, is this it? Hang on.
Michael Bennett spending some time this week answering...
Oh, no, never mind. Anyway, so later in the meeting during the public comment period, an individual said she wanted to recite the pledge. 2 board members and a handful of attendees stood and recited it, prompting Furman to say they were out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. Well, they went and said it anyway as a FU to the mayor. He says right here, to tell the members of the public they are not allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance during a public comment, and threatened to have them removed, that it was one strike and you're out policy violates every single one of their First Amendment rights. Trustee Molly Barella said in a statement to Fox 31. Republican Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert, who also supported those who recited the Pledge of Allegiance and called out the mayor over what she said, called an anti-American disgrace on Twitter. Mayor Furman should resign and purchase a one-way ticket to China where he won't have to worry about hearing the pledge. So anyway, they said it right after he said not to say it. That was a big FU to them. Anyway, moving on. After a year of violence and madness, Portland goes from dumb to desperate. This is a PJ Media article. Over the past year, Portland, Oregon has descended into violent anarchy and madness. It chose this destructive path. Its hapless trust fund baby mayor, Ted Wheeler, let Antifa thugs chase him from his posh home. Voter tip, don't elect dopey trust fund kids to power. They lack even the basic life experiences the rest of us have to enable them to do much more than walk around and chew gum at the same time. Seriously, both parties keep them as far away from power as possible. Portland's Soros-bought District Attorney Mike Schmidt, the woke, That's his title, Mike Schmidt the Woke. Let rioters run out of jail night after night, freeing them to riot time and again. In a barely catch and quickly release regime, police were hogtied from taking necessary actions to keep the city safe. The entire riot squad quit out in protest of, well, how Portland is run from the top to bottom. Portland destroyed its reputation for being peaceful if hippified, to being violent, dangerous, and even insurrectionist. There's that word, insurrection. So what's Portland's solution to the self-inflicted problems? Replace its awful elected leaders? Back the police? Act like it doesn't hate America? Nah. It bought a full-page ad in the leftist New York Times to tell someone that they should really, truly visit Portland. Here's the ad. Travel Portland purchased the ad, which is set to run. Oh, this isn't the ad. Travel Portland purchased the ad, which is set to run through August to encourage overnight local hotel and short-term rental stays from leisure travelers from the cities of Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. KOIN reported. It is part of a campaign called This is Portland. Travel Portland also released a video featuring more than 20 Portland chefs, store owners, athletes, performers, and artists that is narrated with the same text written in the full-page New York Times spread. As if videos of chefs and performers can displace videos of Antifa taking the city over and setting buildings on fire night after night, the full-page ad undoubtedly leaves out events like this. So this is just an evening in downtown Portland, bar hopping and setting dumpsters on fire. Wow, that's super loud. I'll turn that down. Anyway, as if videos of chefs can somehow paper over the fact that local police have completely lost faith in the local elected officials, the audience Portland seeks to bring for a visit is interesting. Seattle is a dying basket case thanks to poor leftist leadership. San Francisco, likewise. Los Angeles, likewise. Those cities, like Portland, encourage lawlessness and anarchy. How is traveling to Portland from any of those cities a vacation at all? Well, you get to see a diverse group of people wearing black and burning shit down. Why would anyone from any of those awful places want to visit Portland, the smaller and even yet more out of control madhouse? Now, wait a minute. Let me just stop there. Okay, I actually enjoyed my time in Portland 2 years ago. We started our trip when my son graduated from college. We started a trip in Portland and we drove all the way down from Portland to San Diego over 2 weeks and then up to Vegas for a few days. But our time in Portland was really nice. There are nice things to see there. Some of the rose garden, there's a huge, I can't remember the name of the park, but this huge it's almost a 2 square block rose garden of all these different kinds of roses. That's beautiful. We went and did a waterfall tour up along the Multnomah Falls, and there's a whole bunch of waterfalls we went and saw, and there was a nice restaurant under one of the falls that was really nice. We also went to the largest Japanese garden in the world that is not in Japan is in Portland too. Beautiful place to visit. Went to a little brewery downtown. I mean, it was great to visit. We just didn't spend any time at night. And this was before all this nonsense started happening. This was in 2019, although the nonsense in Portland has been going on since 2015, but we just didn't see it at night. We were fortunate not to run into any of it, although we did see some homeless people during the day and whatnot. But we were there a couple days, and it was a nice city. But and they're not burning down the entire city, right? They're the places, for example, the courthouse that they were protesting at. We were there in that square during the day. Just when we were in downtown Portland, and it was pretty cool, downtown, and they got all the bridges going over as the inlets come in. But I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near any of these assholes at night. So, I can understand. And also we went to a couple really cool restaurants, little hole in the wall places, but that had great food, So Portland's a nice town, but you just don't want to be around these idiots at night and be anywhere near them. So anyway, good morning, Kessler. I see you. And also Wikipedia snippet. Nice to see you too. So anyway, all right, let's move on. apparently there's some leaked document. I did a little investigation on this because I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but I saw this tweet by Benny Johnson, and apparently leaked teacher training documents in Iowa show that the government schools in this, now I'm going to narrow this down in a minute because it's not the entire state of Iowa, because one of my friends, I have a little text thread with a bunch of my college friends, and they shared this too. It's not in the entire Iowa public schools throughout the state. It's in one school district. But anyway, show that government schools classify the term "Make America Great Again" as white supremacy.
You're fucking a white male!
That's racist!
Leaked documents from Iowa's Mississippi Bend Area Education Agency show the district subjected teachers to mandatory training that classified the phrase "Make America Great Again" as an example of covert white supremacy akin to neo-Nazis, murderous police, and cross-burnings. Now, I'm sort of, here it is. So, no, okay. Oh, it is. Yeah, white covert, as opposed to overt white supremacy, socially unacceptable, racial slurs, racist jokes, neo-Nazis, burning crosses, KKK, N-word, hate crimes, swastikas, lynching. Right here in the high end of the pyramid, Make America Great Again. Hiring discrimination, police murdering people of color, school to prison pipeline. There's no such thing. Here's China to prison pipeline. Anyway, hello, check your logic. What's happening? They consider this covert white supremacy. I found this pyramid weird, but anyway. In the same graphic, which also deems Columbus Day and the denial of white privilege as examples of white supremacy, had previously been used in government-funded anti-racist training led by Dina Simmons and organized by Valburn Consulting Group on behalf of the Naperville 203 Community Unit. That's in Naperville, Illinois. This, by the way, this school district is in Bettendorf, Iowa, near the Quad Cities. And if you're familiar with Iowa at all, along the Mississippi River on the eastern border of Iowa, they call it the Quad Cities: Bettendorf, Davenport. I can't remember the other ones, but they call it the Quad Cities. So this is the Bettendorf School District. Iowa Mississippi Bend Education Agency is their school district. Okay, so the presentation from Iowa's Mississippi Bend Area Education Agency, which was posted on Twitter by Benny Johnson, also listed a variety of resources, including a definition of critical race theory that boasted that the ideological framework questions the very foundations and principles of constitutional law, confirming the critiques of those who have noted that the critical race theory is intentionally designed to subvert the underpinnings of American society by targeting children through the education system. The same resource also defined a number of other notable terms, including whiteness, remarking that whiteness itself refers to the specific dimensions of racism that serve to elevate white people over people of color. I'm fascinated by this. I just am. I'm trying to figure out how have white people been elevated above me? I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell with me because, I'm kind of light-skinned. But anyway, the definition of racial justice noted the need to operationalize justice by centering blackness and building community, culture, and economic and political power of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, while defining racism itself as both race prejudice plus social and institutional power, as well as white supremacy system, thus claiming that white people who are allegedly privileged can be perpetrators but not victims of racism. Now, this, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but you can read it yourself. This begs the question: if the people promoting this particular resource are people in power, because it says social and institutional power, race prejudice, and social and institutional power. If these people who have social and institutional power are are using this against a particular race, wouldn't that particular race be a victim of racism? Clearly, if they're implementing this and they have the institutional power, who are they institutionalizing this against? Seems to me it's still racism. I'm not here to protect y'all, white people. I'm just throwing some things out there, but that's my logic. Anyone else feel me on that one? Now, of course you will, because a lot of you are white people, but I'm well, actually I am here for you. I guess I'm protecting the white people now, but it just makes sense. Then this is, who said that about the Chicago mayor? Yeah, the mayor of Chicago. Is the mayor of Chicago white supremacist? But wait a minute, she said she was only going to take questions from reporters of color. So she clearly has, what did they call it? They called it social and institutional power. Mayor Lori Lightfoot is the mayor of Chicago. She has the ultimate social and institutional power, and so she's only going to call on reporters and whatever people of color to interview her. That seems, by their definition, racial prejudice and social and institutional power. That's racism against white people. I think she needs to rethink that. Notice I did not say reverse racism, because it's just racism. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. Am I alone here? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just some weird shit to me. Hello, People's Front of Canada. What's up? Tarai Deos, Gallo, and Patrice Ripley, the official K-pop aficionado of the Morning Night Live, is in the house. Welcome. I am so happy that you're here. So I'm fascinated on this. Now, also, by the way, in the link, I'm going to show you where this came from, because this is not this little thing that they put up here, that this triangle is not from the school system itself. It's actually from a group called, listen to this. This is a good one. This is like, what do they call it? Like when you have the handle thing, right? It has a handle, and then it has those flappy things that you take this and you whip yourself with it. Self-flogging kind of thing, those what I'm talking about. Well, this comes from a group called, what's this group called? Whites for Racial Equity.org. That's where this pyramid came from. This is I might have to go through this site. This is awesome. It's Stop Racism. That's a great, look, stopping racism is a great goal, right? I don't know if they really understand what they're doing here, though. Flagellum. Yes, a flagellum. Yes, we need one. Hello, Jack Gunsky. Nice to see you here. What's happening? The Whites for Racial Equity. It's a whole website on stuff here, and I'm going to go through it because I've watched one video, and I was like, okay, y'all try too hard. It's not that hard not to be racist. It's really not, and you don't have to. To be anti-racist is kind of it's kind of just doing the other part, right? Anyway, so I'm looking at this. I want to look at this triangle though, because they say so the avert white supremacy. Yes, lynching is a crime. Someone mentioned that. Hate crimes, those are crimes. Swastikas, well, that's just some idiots who don't know any better. And burning crosses, yeah, I guess that's, racist jokes. Now look, you got to give the comedian some leeway. I'm sorry. I think sometimes racist jokes are just funny. And, there's racist jokes against every race. And sometimes racist people in each race make jokes about themselves, and they're funny sometimes, unless it's a bad faith or, an intentionally cruel racist joke that you're telling somebody, but whatever. Racial slurs, sticks and stones, baby. I don't give a shit. And neo-Nazis, they're overtly racist. But here's some of the covert racist stuff they have in this pyramid. Hiring discrimination. Okay, I'm with you. We should not have hiring discrimination, except to be anti-racist, you're required to have hiring discrimination, right? Discriminatory lending. Well, I don't know what that is, because most lending, I am coming from the seat of somebody who has been a loan officer or lender, right? Lending is a numbers and actuarial game. Not necessarily actuarial, but it's a numbers game, right? And we use scores and different things. It doesn't have, there's no race. They want to think, now it has been in the past. I'm not saying it never was, but I've been in lending since the 90s, or I was started in the 90s and I ended in the mid 2000s. It's really not based on anything. In fact, you don't even know what color people are when you're doing lending. The underwriters who do the files, they have no idea what your race is, because you don't put it on your lending, on your loan. It's really based on numbers. Does these numbers work? Do these credit score work? How much it's a formula. And the color of your skin isn't including in that formula. But what I did find is, the idea that there was credit problems. Yeah, that's usually where it was. Predatory lending. There was some of that, but it's funny. Most of the predatory lenders that I knew that were trying to, make those crazy, subprime loans and stuff to black people. Most of those loan officers were black people trying to make a buck. I'm not supposed to say that out loud, but that's what it was. It really was. There were some scumbags out there, I got to tell you. A lot of those were black loan officers, and I was cleaning up those messes for people all the time. But anyway, racial profiling, police murdering people of color. Police murdering anybody is, it's funny they put that there because, like, for example, they classified George Floyd's as a murder, and whatever, that's how the verdict came down. But that had nothing to do with his race. It really didn't. They didn't call the police because some black guy was in here, standing here too long, okay? There was some other things that going on, and you respond to the calls you get, and that, they didn't come because, oh my God, there's a black guy trying to pass a $20 bill, a fake 20 here. That's not what the call was about. And the fact that he was on whatever he was that made him not want to get in the car and be paranoid about the car was not because he was black. Okay, so there are cases similar to it where they, and other people, Tony Tip is a case. Is it police brutality? You can classify it as that, but that has nothing to do with race. Police encounters are the reason people have problems with the police. And then what they do within those encounters. Okay, and unfortunately, we do have a lot more police encounters because of the amount of crime in certain urban areas. But whatever, that's black and white people get into bad situations based on what they do within their police encounter. Confederate flags is covert white supremacy? Interesting, because I'm surprised they didn't put that under overt, but some Confederate flags aren't, because they are having to do with some people actually believe in that Southern pride thing, and I don't give a fuck about the flags. I really don't. School to prison pipeline, that's one of those buzz phrases where I go, Not believing experiences of POC. I don't know what that means. You can talk. You mean like Jesse Smollett? Because everyone believed him for a while. You mean all the hate crimes that turned out to be fake? Provably fake? Virtuous victim narrative. Don't know what that means. Denial of white privilege. Denial of racism. I don't know who denies racism. Denial of white privilege. Well, I know that my my wife certainly had less privilege than I did growing up, and she's white and I'm not. So I don't know. Anyway, Eurocentric curriculum, anti-immigration policies, practices, anti-immigration or anti-illegal immigration? Let's clarify which one is covert white supremacy. And I know a lot of brothers who aren't happy about the Mexicans coming over the border either. Not the Mexicans, I shouldn't say that. There is anti-immigration policy is white supremacy. Depends on how many jobs they're taking from you and who they're taking them from. Because there's a lot of immigrants who are anti-immigrant as far as they're concerned when they say anti-illegal immigration, assuming good intentions are enough. Why? Why aren't they? Why? What do you mean? Oh, you have to be actively anti-racist. That's what they're saying. Self-appointed white ally. Okay. You mean like Robin DiAngelo? Oh my God. Celebration of Columbus Day is covert white supremacy. Is it now? Or is it just the fact that Europeans didn't know what this was until Columbus ran into it by accident? It's still a guy who went out on a very dangerous limb, not knowing where he was going, and finding something that he didn't know was there, whether he found it on purpose or not. And that that exploration mindset was in 1492, just gonna go sail off the wrong way on an ocean, hoping you get to the other side of the world, not knowing if you're gonna fall off the edge of the earth, because you think the world's round, everything that tells you the world's round, but you just don't know. So, and the idea that he discovered this continent, this side of the world, whether you like the word discovered or not, he discovered something that they didn't know about. Not the fact that nobody was here, but that it was a discovery by someone in another completely different place of something that nobody knew about. So, celebration of Columbus Day, that's not white supremacy. That's just is celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday black supremacy? Is celebrating any president's birthday white supremacy? I don't know. Don't blame me. I never owned slaves. Why? What do you? So we should blame you for what? Fearing people of color. Interesting. I know a lot of people of color who fear people of color. Expecting POC to teach white people. I'm not. You ain't got to teach them nothing. Don't teach them. Expecting people. Teach you what? Blaming the victim. Like Jussie Smollett. Tokenism. Hey, I'll be your token, Senator Whitehouse. I am not proud. Y'all need a token to help you out in your little Lily White beach club in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm there for you, sir. I'm there. Anyway, it's just a joke. Not challenging racist jokes. I laugh at racist jokes. Racist jokes are funny. I don't care. Oh my God. Claiming reverse racism. No, it's just racism anyway. All right, enough of that. Anyway, so that's in the, I'll have that in the tab also. Let's move on because I've dwelled on this one too long. The mayor, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington, D.C., said that there was only one night of rioting last summer. In D.C., that is. Mayor Muriel Bowser claimed Tuesday during a Senate committee hearing for D.C. statehood that the district had one night of rioting last summer, despite multiple nights of riotous unrest occurring over the course of several months in D.C. Beginning in May 2020, Bowser made the remark during her testimony to the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee while she was addressing a question from Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin about the value of property damage caused during the riots. Quote, just a couple questions in terms of how the district has handled people who have rioted in the summer versus people who breached the Capitol, Johnson began, adding he condemns both equally and citing close to $2 billion in insurance claims nationwide from last year's riot damage before asking the mayor about D.C.'s damage specifically. The two then proceeded to have a heated exchange as Bowser twice started to respond by addressing earlier comments Johnson had made rather than answering his question. Johnson, interrupting Bowser, asked again, "Could you answer the question? Do you have an estimate of the property damage during the summer riots?" Bowser replied, "I know we had one night of rioting in the district in the summer," and eventually added that she did not have a property damage estimate. Oh, that's interesting. Metropolitan Police data details hundreds of unrest-related arrests made for offenses that occurred between May, June, July, and August of last year. Police made 29 arrests for felony riot acts on May 31st, as well as an arrest for several other charges, including property defacement, burglary, and curfew violations. Police then made more than 20 additional arrests for felony riot acts on June 1st, 2 additional arrests for misdemeanor riot acts on June 2nd. During the rest of June, many other unrest-related arrests were made for curfew violations, burglary, destruction of property, defacement of property, assaults on police officers, arson, possession of Molotov cocktail, and more. July saw unrest-related arrests, though fewer than in May and June. Arrest activity spiked again in August as police made 37 arrests for felony riot acts on August 14th. And another 15 for felony riot acts on August 31st. Bowser has said she condemns riotous behavior, though her comment Tuesday is not her first instance of downplaying the destruction that took place in D.C. last summer. During the Democratic National Convention last August, Bowser referred to protests that took place in Lafayette Square as peaceful, despite evidence, including numerous injuries of 2 police officers occurring during them. Johnson's question to Bowser, who has long been an advocate for D.C. statehood, came on the heels of several comments from witnesses during the hearing about the constitutionality of converting the nation's capital to a state, which I believe is unconstitutional, and so on and so forth. All right, moving on. House Democrats suggest stripping Catholic Church of tax-exempt status if Biden is denied communion. Fascinating. Representative Jared Huffman, Democrat of California, accused the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops of politically weaponizing religion by voting to draft a document that could result in a rebuke of pro-abortion Catholic politicians and suggesting punishing them by stripping the Catholic Church of its tax-exempt status. If they are going to politically weaponize religion by rebuking Democrats who support women's reproductive choice, then a rebuke of their tax-exempt status may be in order, Huffman tweeted. Really? Now, I find that fascinating because the church has always been against not just abortion, but different reproductive abilities that we have in this day and age. And they've never really wavered on that. And I know they wouldn't be the first person to restrict communion from. I know Nancy Pelosi was one of those. Anyway, Huffman's tweet was in response to a statement last week from 60 Catholic House Democrats warning the USCCB against what they described as weaponizing the Eucharist. The USCCB on Friday overwhelmingly voted in favor of drafting a document that could lead to a rebuke of publicly pro-abortion Catholic politicians, such as President Joe Biden. The document, which will be made public at a later date, will advise bishops how to best enforce the guidelines regarding the reception of Holy Communion. It's funny because the church law doesn't necessarily have to be, it doesn't have to follow the nation's law as far as it's funny. The Supreme Court recently allowed, what was it? They had that decision on the adoption agencies. I think it might be a Catholic adoption agency, not doing adoptions for, was it gay couples or I don't know, something like that. The state treating the Catholic Church different. Let me just ask this: does the state strip tax-exempt status from mosques for similar requirements within Islam? I don't think so. So it's very interesting. So they're saying that if the church cannot operate in the way they're going to operate, or they're going to lose their tax-exempt status. That's a little problematic. I don't know. So anyway, all right, let's keep going. Protesters gather around Calgary prison to support pastor arrested after a police helicopter found outdoor church. So they have a video. I think they have video of this. How long is this? Oh, this is 19 minutes long. Anyway, so you know that there's that pastor in Canada who keeps getting harassed by the police. A group of pastors and protesters gathered around Calgary Remand Center in Alberta to support Pastor Tim Stevens, who was jailed earlier this month after a police helicopter found where his congregation was meeting outside. So he had he's been having outdoor services, and apparently they've been having them covertly or something, or hiding them. And so they had a police helicopter search for this congregation trying to hold their service, and they found them and decided to go arrest them. Heavy police presence hovered over the gathering, according to the video of the event from Rebel News, but the demonstration remained peaceful despite many of the participants expressing disgust toward the Alberta government for how they are treating Stevens and other pastors. Among participants in the protest was Pastor James Coates of Grace Life Church in Edmonton, who drew international attention earlier this year when he spent more than a month in a maximum security prison for continuing to hold church services in defiance of the Alberta Public Health Act. Now, that's... Ooh, Canada, what is going on up there? After he was released, Alberta Health Services and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police raided his church in the early morning and barricaded it behind 3 layers of fence, forcing the congregation to meet in secret. What our country is doing right now is losing its entire identity and everything we've enjoyed in this country, to the point of being systematically and fundamentally redefined and altered. Coates told the crowd, pointing out how critical race theory is one of the ways Western nations are being dismantled from the inside. Anyway, there's a video there. It's about 20 minutes long. It'd be worth a watch. Moving on, Senate blocks Democratic election power grab. Good for them. I saw that fascinating. Mitch McConnell was trending on Twitter. Let me see if he still is. It was fascinating. What was the trend? What was it called? It was something that you would think would be inciting violence. Oh, maybe it's gone. Is it still there? Something Mitch. Go to hell, Mitch. Go to hell, Mitch was trending on Twitter today. It's still trending. Trending number 9 right now. It was in the top 3 before. And, Sean King's trending. Oh my God. Do we have time to go look at that? No, we don't. Because the Senate rejected this HR1 and S1, which is crap bill. The Senate voted 50-50, failing to meet the 60-vote threshold needed to advance the debate on S1, the For the People Act. This prevents the Senate from voting on the legislation. The legislation would federalize America's electoral system, which is drawing strong opposition from Republicans because the federal government doesn't do elections. Each state does their own elections. Now, here's what the legislation was trying to do. Federalize control over congressional elections, declare that standard state and local maintenance of election systems, such as purging ineligible voters from voter rolls, limiting vote by mail, requiring voter ID, and establishing rules against felons voting, would erode the right to vote, requiring all challenges to the law be filed in the federal courts in Washington, D.C., dominated by judges appointed by Democratic presidents. Perfect. Establish online and automatic voter registration, which a lot of states already have. Protect illegal immigrants from prosecution if they vote. What? Why? Why would you protect illegal immigrants from prosecution if they vote when they're not supposed to be voting in our country? Doesn't make sense. Establish same-day voter registration. A lot of states already have that. Register minors to vote. Why would you register minors to vote if they can't vote? That's just stupid. Mandate early voting, which most states are doing anyway. Even these states that are doing the new Jim Crow laws they keep talking about, they are codifying early voting. In fact, in Georgia, you know, the Jim Eagle law that Joe Biden was talking about, it's harder to vote in New York State than it is in Georgia. You got to look that one up. Just trust me on that. Establish nationwide vote by mail without voter ID. They want to do nationwide vote by mail, but you don't have to prove who you are. Jesus, come on. That is just power grab. And allow ballots to be counted 10 days after Election Day, so you can add to the totals. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in New York said ahead of the vote that reactionary state legislatures' election integrity bills amount to voter suppression. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said on the Senate floor ahead of the vote that legislation would serve as a Democrat power grab. Yeah, it would. So anyway, good. They said F it to that bill. Democrats say the quiet part, but Democrats are saying the quiet part out loud. Click there. The bill isn't election reform. It means for them to grab power forever. Representative Jamal Brown in New York appeared on CNN Tuesday and admitted that the Democrats' federal election bill is just about power. How long is this?
The same conversations need to happen when it comes to S1. The same relationships need to be used that the president has built over the course of his career to make sure we pass S1. Again, the American people have sent us here to deliver. If we deliver, we maintain power in 2022. If we don't, and we show the inability to deliver, then we risk losing power and risk this moment in American history to really push a progressive democratic agenda.
So it's about remaining in power.
The same conversations need to happen.
It's about remaining in power. Oh, if we build it, we will still be here. If we don't build it, we might lose. Anyway, so it's gone. Good. FTG. Let's see. 80% of Americans support voter ID laws. You could read this one yourself, but the new Monmouth poll said 80% of Americans approve of voter ID laws, and including African Americans. Like 78% of African Americans say, "What the fuck? Of course I have an ID, you racist prick." All right, I got to call it a day, gang. By the way, I will have the link to this website called Whites for Racial Equity. Notice they don't say equality. They say equity. What do I say about equity? If you see the word equity, run away. All right, people, before you go, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Also, share the stream. Please, 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 please share the stream. Put it on somewhere on one of your social media sites. That helps a lot. Hello, Dr. Keeve. How you doing? And thank you for those who sponsored the show today. Well, the sponsor of the show today, GunFox61. Thank you much, sir. Also, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that several ways. It's in the description down below. Or just buy a Resist Fascism cup at pdognight.live. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Click the bell. You know you want to be notified when I go live or when I put up new videos. So put that in your agenda right now and start clicking. Thank you. And yes, I have a lot of homework in Discord Gunfucks. I know. I read some of the articles. I got to remember to put arrows when I read the articles because I do check that quite a bit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for participating in the chat. Leave a comment in the comment section if you come back. And if you're watching on replay, same thing. Thank you, everybody. I got to go. My name's P Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight. And thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.